Review all the best sports clips from around the country. Now you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of over there? Because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They say this all the time. They don't read the comments. They talk down to us that we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube, Twitter. But I think it's the opposite. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing in the world, definitely let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I truly believe it's turning into something really, really special. And I would love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited and proud to be part of. And I think we can do it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're with first things first, talking about whether or not, kind of like Nick's tiers and where they rank for the playoffs now. This is the playoff teams of Nick's tiers. I've only seen the one team at the bottom because when I hit play and I was trying to queue it up and I saw that who it was at the bottom, and it'll be no surprise to anyone who's been watching my videos that I'm not happy. And I can already guess who's at the top, which also makes no sense. So let's hit play and check it out.
Term limited. He was term limited. Bottom of the tiers, dead team walking, the Eagles. They've lost 5 of 6. They have no identity or direction. They might not have a coach. They certainly don't have a defensive coordinator, which is odd because they actually have 2. And somehow their offensive coordinator's getting head coaching interviews. I don't understand any of it. I do know this. They were, even though some people had them going to the Super Bowls recently as 6 days ago, they are currently the dead team walking. Next row, hell of a story. For Tampa and Pittsburgh, it's already been.
All right. Let's take this little by little. Okay. I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm an unbiased Eagles fan. I am not coming here telling you that the Eagles are legit. Let's go. They're going to win and turn it around. But I do want to say this. The Eagles have lost a few bad games recently, okay? Most notably, they talk about when we talk about the Eagles in a free fall, it's the Giants game, it's the Cardinals, and it's the Giants, the Cardinals, and oh my God, what's the third team? It'll come to me in a second. And so with those losses, the Seattle Seahawks, with those losses, it's giving this illusion that they're just so terrible. But that's not really accurate because, one, the Giants have been a tough game. The Giants were getting better. They played the Rams, and they almost beat them by 1. Okay, and I'm sure he's going to now put the Rams up higher up. So if that's the case, well, the Giants almost beat them. And now the Giants obviously beat the Eagles pretty good that second game, but that was like this weird game where there was the feeling that they knew that the Cowboys weren't going to lose against the Commanders. So it was like, so how much energy, I think it's a more difficult game and to pump yourself up. And again, it wasn't a pretty game by no means for the Eagles. So I'm not necessarily making excuses, but it was a weird game. We had a bunch of key people out. And yes, you would like to say that they should have been able to play them better, but then Jalen got hurt and AJ Brown got hurt, and it did. In that moment, it felt like everything was out of control because now we're getting injuries and we got smoked by the Giants. And because of that moment, it feels like these other losses now the Eagles have gotten smoked, like by Seattle or the Cardinals. And that's not what happened. It was the 2 last-minute weird, comeback wins that the Eagles definitely lost, without a doubt. But the Cardinals have been playing better, especially with Kyler Murray. And also now this is against a defensive coordinator who knows the Eagles in and out. It was the ex-Eagles defensive coordinator. He knows the Eagles and the personnel so deeply. He knows what they do good. He knows what they do bad. He knows the offense. He knows the defense, even though he's just a defensive coordinator, but he knows it. He knows that team deeply. So that was always going to be one of those more weird, interesting games. That is just a fact. A fact. And again, Seattle, make no mistake about it, Seattle almost beat the King Cowboys, right? And Seattle got really unlucky in that game, okay? I mean, there was like a big missed pass interference call that was like crazy. And even with that, Seattle still almost won that game. If you really go back and watch the game, I don't know if the box score necessarily reflects that, but the Cowboys absolutely almost lost that game. So Seattle wasn't like necessarily this complete trash garbage team 100%. I'm not saying that they were a good team either, but they still had some fight. And then also now they had their backup quarterback, which is always, a lot of times when backup quarterbacks step up for like one game, the team always like rallies behind them and stuff. So again, I'm not making excuses for the Eagles. This is my whole point with regards to the Eagles right now is things may not be as ugly as it seems because they got beaten so bad. It feels like now anyone can just wallop the Eagles. And majority of the Eagles' bad losses were actually close. Now, again, they got whooped by the Cowboys and they got whooped by the 49ers. So that now kind of goes against that, right? That kind of adds to the Eagles are just, in a free-for-all. And they may well be, and they're also really injured now, like genuinely, like Jalen Hurts' finger was going in the wrong direction, okay? Yes, you can pop that back in place, and just to think, though, that now you're just going to be able to throw perfectly, like, not so much. The same thing with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So I wouldn't say, though, that they're automatically dead team walking. I would base it on their health. If I knew how healthy they were, I would maybe keep them at the bottom. But if they're healthy enough, I am not putting them below Tampa Bay or even the Steelers. Steelers should be dead man walking because they have a backup quarterback and they're going up against Josh Allen and the Bills. So I just think that's kind of absurd. And again, Nick Wright has said that the Cowboys are this elite team, that they're amazing, they're great, that Dak Prescott should be the MVP. If that's the case, and they're home on the playoffs, if that's the case, wouldn't the Packers be dead man walking? Wouldn't the Packers have zero chance at winning? And if that's the case, well, then they should be dead team walking. So that already doesn't make any sense.
A great story getting here. It would be an unbelievable story if Tampa were able to beat the defending NFC champions in round one, or if Pittsburgh were able to beat the two-time defending.
How would it be an unbelievable story if they're terrible, if they're the bottom team of this tier? Why would that be unbelievable? It would be more unbelievable about the Eagles and not so much about Tampa Bay. Again, doesn't make sense.
Media Super Bowl champions in round one. Either way, it's a hell of a story that they're here. Get the offense rolling. They're going to have to score 30 to have any chance. Now, that's easier said than done. Dallas has allowed 30 one time at home all year. Kansas City has allowed 30 one time in the past 2 years. Oh. And I don't think, given the Dolphins' defensive injuries and given the Packers' lack of defensive personnel, despite what they did in that game against the Chiefs, when I don't think that same officiating crew is going to help them out with the no-call defensive pass interference either. Wilds, I think they're going to have to win a shootout. I don't know that either can, but that's their only hope. Terrible draw. This is a shame because these are fun seasons from fun teams, and they got, in my opinion, their worst-case scenario round one matchups. For the Lions, you have to deal with the ghosts of Christmas past walking back into the building with Matt Stafford. You are also all of a sudden going to have Dan Campbell in a tactical battle with Sean McVay. I don't think that's going to work out great. On the other side, for the Texans, you once again make the playoffs. You're the first playoff game, your regular Saturday afternoon slot, and you're playing a team that has, while you have no experience, they have the most experienced, second most experienced quarterback in the postseason, and a defensive front that is going to be able to disrupt your offense unlike any other defense in the postseason, and a secondary that's going to be able to take away your only healthy receiver yet, Nico Collins. I like both of these teams. I've enjoyed watching them. I think it's a terrible draw. Don't kill us, quarterback. This goes in both directions. Listen, both these teams should be able to win round one based on defense and running game alone. However, Joe Flacco, despite the fact it's been a wonderful story, leads the NFL in interceptions since he took over as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, Josh Allen has 22 giveaways on the season. Only Wilds guy Sam Howell has more. You need Flacco and Allen to make big plays to win your round two games. To win your round one games, you just need them not to make big mistakes given what you're up against. Prepare the busts. This is what
I just want to know how the Bills, the number 2 seed, is so low. The lack of respect for the Bills and Josh Allen is such a disgrace Because again, if he put the Chiefs down lower, then I would say, okay, that's fine. Like, that's your opinion. But to say that the Bills are this so low and that the Chiefs are so much higher than them, there's no way to look at it where you can make that make sense. There's no way to look at it. Zero way to look at it. You can't justify it. You can't look at the numbers. You can't look at the film. You can't look at the previous games. You just can't. It makes zero sense. Especially because in the last couple of games, the Chiefs got, or outside of the last game, because that doesn't matter. The last games with Mahomes, okay? They lost to the Raiders, who are awful. And then they almost lost to the Bengals, to a backup quarterback and one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And yet their offense still was terrible, okay? So, and again, like literally the Bengals almost pulled that off if you really actually watch the game and see how the game unfolded. So the notion that they're all the way up top and that the Bills are all the way down there makes no sense. Or that the Dallas Cowboys are ahead of the Bills. That makes zero sense. And again, I'm not being a Cowboys hater, but the fact that the Bills don't have that respect. If you want to put the Cowboys and the Bills together, I'm okay with that. But that is insane.
Brew and I got so argumentative about in the morning call. If the Los Angeles Rams win the Super Bowl, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford are Hall of Famers.
McVay's in now too?
Well, if yes,
You sound
Sean
like Greg Jennings
Sean
telling
McVay
everybody
would have been
about
to
Hall of
3 Super Bowls and won 2. He could walk away and be Hall of Famer. The late great John Madden went to 1 Super Bowl in a short career, walked away, made it. He would be in. And Stafford just made his 2nd Pro Bowl, and I know that surprised people. He only made 1 before.
He's
but
got
if he
the
makes,
numbers.
if he has the numbers, if he has 2 Super Bowls, that he's in. Deja vu. Great defense, a ton of weapons, a good draw. Don't let it happen again. In 2019, this was the story for a 13-win Niner team, and then quarterback play in the Super Bowl killed them. In 2021, this was the story for a 13-win Niner team, and then quarterback play in the NFC title game killed them. In 2022, this was the story for an excellent Niner team. Actually, might have been 10 wins in 2021, pardon me, and quarterback injury killed them. They have had a Super Bowl caliber team 4 of the last 6 years, and quarterback play has killed them. They hope it does not happen again. Okay. Now the rest, Bob. You know what, Brew?
Wow. Oh, wow.
You were right. You know what? We argued about it all year. Brew, I thought about it.
Guys, I want to hear from you, non-49ers fans and non-Cowboys fans, okay? You really think that the Cowboys are above the 49ers? You really think that? Please let me know in the comments if you really, truly believe that, and tell me why. The 49ers have had a harder schedule, played better, beat better teams, and destroyed the Cowboys. Destroyed them. It wasn't even close, not even for a second. At least against the Eagles, it was close, and the Eagles actually kind of had like a little bit of chance, and then they just, then it kind of busted wide open. But it was actually like a close game going into the second half or the fourth quarter. I forget exactly how it went, but it was, it was winnable technically. It was never winnable for Dallas. Maybe, as soon as the coin flip, right? Outside of that, it was not winnable for Dallas. So that makes zero sense. Zero.
A W.
I thought about it.
This is a W
you know what?
for me.
Wilds,
Wow.
it's rare. Cat 3 opinion by me. Just wrong. Brew was right all along. The Cowboys are, in fact, Super Bowl or bust. And
Thank you.
finally, atop the tiers, an all-time team. The Ravens, a plus 200-point differential, an MVP at quarterback, the number 1 scoring defense. They check all the boxes, and that that's 13.
You're not tricking.
Still the champs!
Okay.
Oh, everybody's 0-0, and they are still, in fact, the champions. Throw the regular season out. You want to face Mahomes? You want to face Reed? I don't think you do. There it is, Greg Jennings.
Okay.
Wild card weekend tears.
I'm just jumping straight to you. The Chiefs, stop it.
What?
Cut it out, Nick. You've done this all season
No, I am
long,
not.
and I'm not buying it. And
What do you mean?
I tune in when I'm not here in your little A block where I'm not invited. It's just the three amigos. Look at these numbers. These are the quarterback play of teams below 500 record that are quarterbacks that are remaining in.
Oh, what have I been saying all season long? Look at this. Let's really go through this because you guys love to. Well, a lot of people say that I'm right, which I really appreciate that support. But I've been attracting a lot of Dallas haters, or a lot of Dallas fans who naturally hate me, which I understand. I do, genuinely do. Below 500 record playoff starters in 20 versus 23 playoff teams. Okay, I mean, look at this: 1-5, 1-5, 1-5, 1-4, 3-4. Guys, this is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying. This matters. This matters. You can't just look at the games as a whole. I mean, you can't just look at the bottom line of it. You have to go individually and actually see what happens, especially when teams play other good teams. So, and this is what Greg, I'm just going to let Greg, explain it because he'll do way better than I ever could.
The postseason.
I follow.
Look at Mahomes, 1-4. And then we might say, well, yeah, because it's receivers and you put it on the receivers. Well, let's look at his yards per pass when we talk about the receivers. It's not just about the drops. They've reduced their style of offense to, you know what, let's just try to get these guys the ball and they don't get the ball down the field. So he has the lowest yards per pass.
Good,
and then when you look at passer rating.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is great, right? Oh, wait.
Wow. I mean, look at that. That's wild.
Jared Goff is all the way to the right at 87. Stafford, 80. Woo, where's Mahomes?
Mahomes friendly show.
This is,
however.
look, we can act as though this is the Mahomes of old. This is the Kansas City of old. They're not, Nick. Okay. And you will find out sooner rather than later. The Chiefs should not be a top 10 team.
Excuse me, I'm allergic to not.
As my mom would say, sneezed on the truth. Nick Wright just sneezed on the truth. It makes zero sense. And again, that's so stupid. I mean, again, I get it. You're a Chiefs fan. And as long as I make these videos, I'll have to keep saying that. I get it. It's fun. It's ha ha ha. And if he wins, he gets to say, I told you so. And he gets to make a big deal about it. And he gets to go to the parade and take more pictures with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Congratulations. Then if you lose, it's ha 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 ha. We told you, Nick. And they make a banner. Nick was wrong. And it's like, ha, and it's like, it's fun. I get it. But also, these segments, I would like them, I would like them to actually just be a little bit more accurate. Like, have the courage to say, I love the Chiefs, they're my team, but the Ravens are at the top. Whatever it is, so that's where it just, and that bias, if you're really biased about a team like the Chiefs, and you're that biased, it makes you then question a lot of these other takes that you make, whether it's about Bill Belichick take, right? Like something that doesn't even seem connected. It makes you question what else are you biased in that we just may not know because you're not as, it's not as obvious or as apparent or part of like your brand. So it's a very weird thing with that. And it's like once you get caught lying, you always question whether or not this person is telling the truth, right? If you ever been in a relationship where someone cheated on you, even if they never cheat on you ever again, you still always kind of have that doubt. And so that's, to me, is how Nick Wright kind of discredits him. And it's kind of this balance of just like having fun and good entertaining TV and then also just being blatantly biased. And I think there's a way for you to do it both ways. And to me, this slightly, misses the mark. Not slightly, it misses the mark by a lot. And Greg Jennings beautifully points it out.
Nonsense. All right, so I'm going to bring up a dynasty of yore. Oh. So, Greg, you were a basketball player, and you're certainly a basketball fan. 2002, the Los Angeles Lakers, they were going for their third ring. They were trying to cement a dynasty.
Third straight.
And, well, their third ring, though. Yes, it would have been third straight, but it also was their third ring of the Shaq-Kobe era. And unlike in years past, they weren't the 1 seed. They weren't even the 2 seed. They, in fact, were the 3 seed. And they had to go on the road in round 2 and on the road in round 3. And that ended with everyone being like, oh, wait, We really thought the Kings were going to do it, did we? That seemed pretty foolish. Now, maybe the refs had something to do with that. By the way, I'm not opposed to that either. However, okay, we'll just see. If you have an opportunity to be right. You've been beating the drum throughout the week that the Chiefs are dead and done and losing to the Dolphins. We'll see. Go
Greg,
ahead.
excellent job. Excellent job. And on that graphic about records against winning teams was Dak Prescott and the Cowboys at 3-4. So how in the world, I'll handle the Niners being third. I get it with the Chiefs. That's your team. You want them on the top. We know they don't deserve to be there, but you throw them up there, that's fine. Ravens, yes. How in the world are the Cowboys ahead of the San Francisco 49ers?
I know.
Niners 5-3 against teams with winning records. Cowboys 3-4. Nick, you just last couple segments ago. Who has the better?
Let's hear that one more time.
Cowboys 3-4. San Francisco 49ers.
I know.
Niners 5-3 against teams with winning records. Cowboys 3-4. Nick, you just last couple segments ago. Who has the better head coach? Kyle Shanahan or Mike McCarthy?
The Niners.
Okay. Who has the better defense?
That's a close one.
Nobody's saying, run the ball.
But you're
run the
leaving
ball
out the
on
most
Niners.
important one.
But I think you would say the best defense is the Niners.
But you're leaving out the most important one.
Well, look, statistically, Brock Purdy is very close to Dak Prescott. I think Dak is better quarterback.
Yeah.
But playoff, I mean, I think that's what you want to hold against Brock. Brock has actually been
I don't want to hold
very
the
good in the playoffs. Passer rating,
he has not.
Better.
He has not.
Completion percentage,
This is
2-1.
This is
he
a
played
ridiculous
two full games. One of them he threw for 300 plus
He
and
had
3
one good
TDs.
playoff game.
And one of them he outplayed Dak. That's what you were. In that one there, he was clean. He was clean, and Dak was dirty and threw 2 interceptions.
That's the truth, and you can't argue with that. I really said my fill. I think Brew and Greg really kind of cleaned this up nicely and kind of put Nick in his place. And I agree with what Brew and Greg are saying, and that's why I'm, it's just that list really is absurd. And again, this is why I always say that I'm not a biased version of Nick, even though I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not putting the Eagles at the top of the list, right? I'm not putting the Eagles all the way up there and putting them ahead of all these other teams, I was putting them ahead of or on the same level as a couple of the other teams, but not necessarily. And then also just, thinking out loud, not necessarily saying, oh, well, they're definitely at the top. So it just, just absurd to me, makes zero sense. And I believe that Nick Wright will absolutely, positively be proven wrong. But let me know what you all think. Where do you think the team should be? Who do you think should be at the top? Who do you think should be at the bottom? Where do you think the Chiefs should be? Where do you think the Eagles, the Ravens? Let me know in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. Please don't forget to subscribe. We are building an amazing, amazing, amazing community, and I truly would love to see you part of it. I genuinely see this channel just as much as mine as it is yours. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.